to my channel. If you're new here, it is so nice to meet you. Today, I want to explain why I regret majoring in psychology. I don't want to convince you not to major in psychology. I just want to share my opinion based on my experience going through a four-year university and graduating with a bachelor's in psychology and a minor in education. It has been almost a year since I graduated, and now I'm working full-time in my post-grad life. So I've had some time to reflect on my degree and really try to put it into work. So these are just my opinions. It does not apply to everyone, but I would love to share what I have to say based on what I went through. So if you're considering majoring in psychology or if you're debating on it, I hope this video helps you decide if it's meant for you or not. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first, psychology is too broad of a subject. It is extremely difficult to narrow down your niche within psychology. Aside from being a therapist or a psychologist, it can be difficult to pinpoint your set career for someone with a degree in psychology. What I mean by that is that psychology ranges from working in a hospital, you could work with substance abuse patients, you could be a social worker, you could also work in education, or you could even end up working in business. So to some people, that is a good thing. Some people like having their options open, and some people do appreciate the fact that psychology is so broad. But if you're a person like me that has a difficult time specifying what their interest is, and you may need a sense of direction, then majoring in psychology might not be for you. Another thing is you will need to go back to school to make money, even after getting your bachelor's degree. So there are subjects out there like computer science where even after you get your bachelor's, you could get a certificate, or you could do a coding boot camp and you could get a high-paying job. But for psychology, it is really difficult to get that kind of path. Most psychology majors are planning on being a psychologist, or even a clinical psychologist, a therapist, or a psychiatrist even. And to be a psychologist, you do need a doctorate degree, even clinical psychology. To be a therapist, you do need a master's degree or a specific graduate degree. And being a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a therapist are one of the most high-paying jobs in psychology, and the most common in my experience when I went to school. My classmates, most of them wanted to be therapists or psychologists. And these people are gonna go to graduate school after getting their bachelor's degree. So you really have to accept the fact that you're gonna go back to school to make money. But don't get me wrong, there are high-paying jobs in psychology where you don't need that much schooling. For example, you could get into human resources right after getting your bachelor's in psychology, but it is recommended to get a master's just to have that advantage compared to your peers that also have a bachelor's in psychology. Also, keep in mind that when working in human resources and without getting a master's, you are going to have to work your way up just to hit the six-figure mark. And that is after many years of experience under your belt. Now, this goes hand in hand with my last point, but you may end up in debt. So the schooling that these professions in psychology require are not cheap. I myself am looking into getting into school psychology programs. It is a graduate program. It's called an education specialist program. It is 3 years of college. And in my area, I live in California, they have ranged. The cheapest one is $30,000 to a private university could cost me $86,000. That is a lot of money for a degree in a career that I'm not even 100% sure if I want to do. Getting into college, especially university, as a psychology major is very competitive. At my university, humanities, which is where psychology lies within, was the biggest college within my university. I did not have the best grades in high school. Honestly, if you are looking into applying for psychology and you don't have the best grades, I recommend applying to a major that is less competitive and then getting into your dream university or dream school. And then once you're admitted, I recommend you talking to a counselor or an academic advisor, letting them know that you are interested in changing your major. I started as an art major. I applied to university as an art major. I was accepted, and then I spoke to the college counselor and they were able to switch me to psychology. Just make sure that it is in the beginning, because once you're 3 to 4 years in, it is really difficult to transfer your units over, because it is possible for you to have way too many units under your belt, and at that point you can't change your major anymore. But if you had great grades in AP classes in high school, then you getting into a psych major in a college should not be a problem at all. Next, I think this is extremely important. Do not choose a psychology major just because it's easy. You need to have a passion in psychology. I found out that psychology is interesting to anyone. So really find out why you are interested in psychology. I met math majors, political science, computer science majors, people that were outside majors that took a psych class, and they told me, wow, psychology was so interesting. I really liked taking that elective class. Hearing that psychology was considered the easy route or an easy class, I think most people are interested in the way that humans think and the way that we process our thoughts. I mean, it is normal for us to be interested in that because that applies to our life, our everyday life. But regardless, you should choose a major that follows your passion. Don't just choose psychology because it's easy or just because it's interesting. I think just because it's interesting doesn't mean that you are destined to get a career in this field. I also think that the fact that psychology is so interesting, it also adds to why it is so difficult to niche down in psychology later on. Don't major in psychology just because it will be easy to learn or just because you'll get good grades. Follow your passion and choose a major that will be worth your money. Really find out what interests you about psychology. Don't just pick psychology to settle just because it's a safe option. Lastly, majoring in psychology changed the way that I live my life. Not to be dramatic, but I do find myself analyzing conversations, thinking about human perception, really just overthinking and analyzing conversations that I have with people, considering their personality types, and all of these other little things that I found that I learned in psychology. The major that you choose in college will shape the way that you view your life. I met communications majors. Even if they are not the outgoing type, they did learn how to communicate. I firmly believe that the major you choose, you being exposed to that information for 4 years straight, is going to change the way that you see your life. So if you're okay with overthinking your conversations or being that analytical type during a conversation, by all means go for psychology. But for me, I found myself more overthinking, and sometimes I wish that I didn't know so much about the human mind and why people are the way that they are. I did read somewhere that psychology is the major for overthinkers. And I can totally see that. Do with that what you will. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys found this video useful. Feel free to comment below what you think about majoring in psychology. I know that what I said could be debatable. It does not apply to everyone. So let me know if you agree or disagree with some things that I said. I would love to have a conversation with you guys down in the comments because I know psychology is just so broad. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.